Street photography doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, I'm about to give you 7 brilliant no-nonsense tips that will make people stop scrolling when they see your shots. And I'll do it in under 10 minutes. Let's get into it. Hi there, if you don't know me by now, I'm Joe, a street photographer who believes in keeping things simple and fun. No fluff, well, maybe just a little bit of fluff. Just practical advice you can actually use. And tip 3 is so simple, it might just change how you see the streets forever. Let's jump straight in. All right, let's get right into tip 1. And this one is a total mindset shift that will change how you see your subjects. Don't chase people, chase moments. Chasing people is like fishing with a broken net. Chasing moments, now that's fishing with bait. People walking isn't always interesting, but people doing something, that's your story-driven shot. Watch for glances, gestures, and sudden changes in movement. Market stall vendors, tourists, and anyone having a good time are all great subjects for capturing moments because they're naturally engaged in the world around them, reacting and moving with purpose, which creates authentic, unscripted stories for you to capture with just one click. So if someone's still, wait. If they're walking, watch. And if they're doing something, shoot. Moments are everywhere, but only if you train yourself to see them. The first shot is not always the best. Not in street photography and not in selfies. And even if it is, extra shots are insurance. And more importantly, the more shots that you have of a subject, the more chance there is of building a story and even a series. So observe your subject, adjust your framing, capture everything that shifts. People, movement, expressions. It's a little bit like chess. One small move and everything changes. I used to snap and go, just like I used to just wash and go, until I lost it all up there in 2020. So since then, I stay longer, I shoot more frames, and you should too. Take a 2-second peek through doorways and windows. Most people walk past, but street photographers should peek. You'll never know what you'll see. You don't even have to go inside, just look. If you see a warm glow or an interesting subject, snap it. It's fun. It's a little bit like a treasure hunt. Peek for 2 seconds, snap, and walk on. Some of my favourite shots, they come from just one peek. So try it next time. You'll see things that other people don't notice. To make it easy, use auto ISO 100 to 3200 with a minimum shutter speed of at least 1/250th of a second. That way you're covered for street shots and for darker compositions where you are peaking. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It only takes a second, but it makes a huge difference for me and my channel. Thank you so much. Forget gear, use what you've got. I shoot with a Ricoh GR3 and a GR3X. They're small and lightweight. They don't have the best autofocus on the market or high-end features, but they deliver sharp, detailed shots. It turns out it's not about the gear, it's about you. Some people think they need the perfect camera to take great photos. I've come across photographers with top-of-the-line cameras still taking shots of me. I keep telling them I only look good on YouTube. What are you going to do, eh? Less gear, more skill. Frame with your feet, fine-tune with your crop, and work with what you've got. It teaches you to be more intentional with your framing and more creative with your compositions. No big lens, no heavy gear. I have a disability and I can't rely on big cameras. but I still capture sharp, story-driven shots. Even with autofocus, that's not the fastest. So if I can do it, then so can you. Look for layers, not just subjects. You can vary your content by adding foreground objects, reflections, and if you get the chance, combine both with interesting backgrounds. To shoot reflections, if you're just starting out, shoot with a medium aperture like f5.6 to f8, but obviously that's not a hard rule. Look for an interesting display in a shot window and find reflections by positioning your camera to include the window display and what's going on behind you. And then wait for a subject to enter the frame. Just for your information, I would have loved to have taken some reflection shots in Camden Town, where nearly all of the shots that you're seeing here today were captured, but Camden is insanely busy and potentially troublesome and embarrassing with security outside most shops. So nearly all of the reflection shots that you're seeing were shot in Hastings and just one in Brighton. For adding layers, use a medium aperture, position a sign, a lamppost, or anything else that you can find to go in the foreground, and either wait for a subject or find a subject to fit nicely into the composition. If you can combine a reflection, a subject, and an interesting background, you've got depth and detail in just one frame. These are the kind of shots that catch the eye and spark curiosity, inviting viewers to explore the image. And this isn't about luck, it's about practice. The more you experiment with layers and reflections, the better your eye becomes at spotting them when you're out shooting. So get out there and give it a go. People on their phones are free subjects. They're locked into their own world, totally oblivious to you. It's like they're frozen in their own little bubble. Look for emotional reactions, smiling or deep interest, or anything else that you think will make an attention-grabbing image. It's a great way to train yourself to notice body language and emotional cues in your subjects. From my experience, most of the time, people who are on their phones don't even notice that you're there. So start here if you're just starting out or you're just nervous about shooting strangers. Instead of running around looking for it, find a pool of good light, compose your shot and wait. If the light's not that great, like where I live, where you only get 1 hour of good light per year, look for colour and an interesting composition instead, and then wait for somebody to walk into the composition. Bold colours always pop. Combine this with layers or a reflection and you're golden. It's good practice and it's like fishing. That's why it's called the fishing technique. You cast your line and you wait. When someone walks into that composition or that pool of light or even shadow, it's like magic. The whole scene comes together in a way that feels intentional and cinematic. Quick recap before you head out. Chase moments, not people. Work the scene, don't snap and dash. Take a 2-second peek through doorways and windows. Forget the gear, use what you've got. Look for layers and reflections. Phone people are great subjects. Find the light or colour, then let the shot come to you. That's it. 7 powerful tips to level up your street photography. Alright, now it's your turn. Which tip is your favourite? Let me know down below. If you have a simple street photography tip, drop it below. I might just feature it in a future video. If you want to dive deeper, then check out this video right here. I'll show you exactly how to capture reflections in interesting and unusual window displays. If you also want to learn how to capture layers in more depth, I'll add the video up there as well. Until we meet again, go forth and create.